to Bizchicks TV. We're here to help you take the hassle out of your hustle so you can build a profitable business that's fun to run. Here are your hosts.
Hey everybody, welcome to Bizchicks TV on a Tuesday. Today is Marketing Talks with TJ, Terry Johnson online all the way from New York City, right here, right now with another outstanding epic episode that's going to help us with our marketing and our social media efforts. So sit back, relax, get a pen, get a piece of paper, take some really good notes, then do what you learned in class today. So without further ado, here's TJ.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to, like Fran said, another week of marketing talk and chit chat. And, we talk about strategy. We talk about what's going on in marketing world. And you may hear some construction noise and you may not, but it's going on in front of my window and there's nothing I can do to stop it, but we're going to keep going. So let's do a little recap. And I think it was 2 weeks ago. I think it was, I'm not sure the date, but it was Terralina and I had this conversation. And we were talking about the trust strategy. So I want to do a little back on that, a little recap on that, because it's tying in to that strategy. Now, I always bring strategies to you because you need strategies in order to make your marketing work today. Because, the things we talk about. We talk about the algorithm, followers don't count anymore. The AI first world, the AI SEO, the AEO. There's so many names that they're calling the AI search engine optimization, because we're moving away from searching exclusively on Google. And we talked about all those things. So the reason why we have to constantly update our strategy is because things are changing. Can we agree with that? Things are always changing. Instagram is always throwing something in the mix. Facebook, TikTok, name it. And the reason why we're online is because we want to get more attention to our business. Now, not last week. I keep saying last week. It wasn't last week. It was one of the previous shows. And I was saying that the main thing is you want to get attention, and you have to do it the way it is today, which is everybody's online. Nobody's going to the mall. And a lot of the strategy that I talked about in this trust strategy was you have to act like you have a brick and mortar store, like you have a real store. What are some of the things you would do if you had a store on Main Street or whatever street and people were coming in? You wouldn't treat them like bots, which is what people are doing online. Treating people like bots. I gave the example of, I was on Instagram and, I always look at what people are doing, what business owners are doing. And the trend now is to have people comment a word because they have a bot, ManyChat, or there's different ones, different companies, but they have an automated bot where you comment the word trust and you get a conversation in your direct messages. And they say, hey, did you want this? Did you want that? Right? So I saw someone with this, and you can set it up to have it respond when somebody says the word that you put in, the keyword. You can have automated responses when they put in the keyword. But what was wrong here was that people were asking genuine questions about their business, the service, what have you. And there was either no response or the response was the canned response. So the person didn't put the word in, because they put in the caption, comment the word follow and you'll get this, you'll get my whatever they talked about in the post. Well, people are in there asking questions and you're not responding or your bot is responding. That's not behavior that you do when you have a store. When somebody comes in the front door and the little bell rings, remember you just go in the store and a little ding ding, and then hi, may I help you? How are you? You know, you have a conversation. If you're doing it this way online, the person is opening the door a little ding 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 ding, and they're like, "Hey, I got a question," and you're like, "Comment the word," and they're like, "No, I got," and your bot responding. So what does that do to someone who is discovering your business and trying to figure out if there's a match?
It does not inspire confidence in you.
That person is turned off. So you don't even get to start the trust framework. You don't even get to start because you bot behavior because for a lot of reasons. People do it because so many reasons. Now I'm not putting down the bot system, ManyChat, and all that, because it works for Instagram when you set it up properly. So I always say you can't set it and forget it. You can't set it and you can set it, but go in and see if someone asked a question and genuinely respond human to human.
So I guess we're supposed to listen when they ring the bell.
Yeah. What are you're in your store behind the counter, jewelry store, craft store, whatever store. And the person's coming in smiling because I need to buy some yarn. I want to buy some jewelry. I want to buy some whatever, perfume, whatever it is. They're coming in. Be grateful that they're coming in because they're going to go in like, well, I'm not going in there for whatever reason. They made the decision to come in. So when they're in your door, you don't behave like a bot. Oh, you don't do that. So I saw that a couple of times. And we talked about that in the trust factor because I was like, you need to do things like you have a store. Like there's real people coming in. What do you say to them? You don't say
Yeah.
comment the word. And they kept asking questions. You comment the word.
Well, and then it's kind of like when you go into a store and they ignore you and they're not talking to you, they're overdoing something else.
Ignore over this is somebody asking a genuine question about your business and you got a bot answer.
Right, which is not an answer. And it's the same answer to the question that you didn't that's like that is not what I asked,
Not a
but
bad, right.
you're still giving that same answer.
There's
And it's
frustration there that has been caused, and it should be no frustration. Remember, frictionless. They're in the door. They're interested. Somebody commented on your post when you put in your post, and you talked about the thing that you offer, and you said, "Hey, let's have a conversation," or "Hey, I've got this freebie for you. Hey, I've got this thing for you. I've got this comment the word." And then the person asked a question about especially with these people that are selling $9.99 courses, these actual, 11.99 and 19.97. They're not just gonna buy because you said buy. I got a question first. So when I have a genuine question because I need to have more info to trust you to get on this customer journey with you, you answer with a bot.
okay, Mark is here and he says chatbots make me crazy.
Yes, right, Mark, because they're set up incorrectly. When they're set up correctly, and even if they're set up correctly, it's not 100%, there must be a human there to monitor the entire conversation. You, business owner, where you got a bot and thinking, well, I'm so important, I'm not going to even talk to the people that are coming in the front door. Yes, you are.
So you created this AI persona to help you answer.
Call it
Uh,
it's this because it's really assistant because you set it up to I have this offer, I have this service, and I made this comment on we're using Instagram because a lot of people use it on Instagram. And you set it up to facilitate the ease of getting the person into your system, your people say funnel, I say system, where you got it set up. But before they enter that door, they got a question. And you should
Yes.
be able to answer that question as a real person, because you can't set a bot up to answer every question from a human. It's impossible.
Okay.
AI.
So there's a company that has done that. They're a shipping company. I'm shipping a package to New York. Me from Sacramento, I'm shipping a package to New York. And so I want to know if the package got there or what have you, right? So the first thing I do is I try to track the package, but they didn't have where the package was. No, it was a situation where I needed to let them know not to just ring the bell and dip when because the person is elderly. They're going to take a little bit of time to get to the door, and they needed to sign for the package. So don't run away
Right.
when somebody don't answer the.
And you
So I went in to call.
instructions. You can put all that in the special instructions when they do.
Yeah, but okay, so is the bot going to get that?
Yes.
And
See,
so they were thinking that I'm receiving the package. I was like, no, this package is going from Sacramento to New York. I do not. And so then I had to try and talk to a human.
yes. Yes.
I should not. Okay, I don't think we should do bot first. That's just. But
It
if you're gonna do,
it should be bot first. It should be like I said, an assistant where there, but you have to, and I'm saying small business owners is you and a few other. It's not like you and you have thousands of employees. I don't got time to monitor. Yes, you do. You have
because
time to
what are
do that.
wait, what are you really doing? If the bot is answering, but what are you doing?
So
Having coffee
set
with a
it,
bagel? What?
just to set it and forget it. I'm so important that I don't have to answer questions. And we're specifically talking about Instagram, where if you get a comment, or it will tell you, it will set up a notification, so it's not like you're so busy that, oh, I get thousands of DMs or I get thousands of comments. I don't have time to monitor, because I'm Kim Kardashian or whoever influencer with 200 million followers. No, no, no. Now you can set up the bot, but you must monitor it for exactly what I just said. The person, instead of, because you set up the instructions, and here Mark has it. Let's put up Mark's comment. He did it perfectly.
He says, and don't make me watch a 15-minute video before I can get
That's
to the specifics of the course that you are offering.
another one. But let's get to
Um,
more comments there. So thank you, Mark.
and then he says, type interested in the comments. Link is automatically sent to your DM. Link takes you to a video where you must remain captive before you can get the specifics of the course that they're offering.
Right.
Then he said,
That's what I want to talk about. The type interested.
and then it says it's like the phone tree that does everything possible to prevent you from speaking to a human. Bots should not be designed to run interference to keep potential customers from getting information.
Oh, Mark, you're this 100%. Thank you. 100% correct. 100%. It's not running interference because, oh, these people are annoying me with their questions and this. I just want to set up this Autobot so I don't have to deal with it because I get so many requests for my services. No. What I'm talking about is people that are just at Instagram specifically, because if you set this up correctly, it works, but you must monitor it. So what I was saying is, you do an Instagram post of real carousel, whatever it is. I don't care what it is. You posted some comment, you've made a caption, and you directed them. Remember, I said call to action. You're doing it right. Call to action. Comment the word interested, or comment the word, whatever the word is. Work. It's a short word, and you go, oh, I set this thing up perfectly, and it's just gonna, it's just gonna be an ATM machine, and money just gonna spit out. No, humans are gonna go, they said type the word work, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to totally ignore your directions. I'm going to totally ignore your instructions because that's what humans do.
Right, because our questions, uh, it's even if you were having a conversation with each other, you may have told me something, but I'm like, well, I that doesn't my understanding does not match your answer.
I'm going to do what I
So that is like, okay, that's like the what is it, the not the ATM, that's like when you are calling customer service for the video or something, they tell you unplug it for 10 minutes, do. Okay, I've already done all that stuff, now it's still not working.
right.
So we are stopped at a point because you don't have anything, you didn't give the bots anything past that one point,
You
aka our local BMV.
you cannot program a bot to answer every question a human has because we're human. The computer, the program, the whatever, the mechanical thing cannot permutate every question a human will have because we're human. You
Because
can
we have the little nuances of a question, and we're like, well, does popcorn come with that? And the bot is like,
yes,
what is
because this is how, and this is from a programming mind of you set up if then, you set up conditional, all of the things, and you think about, well, what would they say here, what would happen there. You cannot program all of that in because the set of instructions that we set up you disregard. That's what happened here. It was disregarded. It was clear. It said, it talked about I forgot what it was. It was, oh, I do something. If you want to know my exact process or you want more information, comment the word work below and I'll send you whatever, like Mark said. It's clear. Instructions are clear. Call to action is clear. People disregard that because they're people. I don't care what you wrote in your caption. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to the comments and I'm going to ask a question that you never thought of. Now what? So you sit there.
And they're not, and the people are not doing it on purpose to break your bot.
No, I'm not saying people are going to people. People are going to ask questions that you said, well, let me sit down and think about every question, the FAQ, every question that this person may have about this thing that I'm offering. And guess what? You may have 100 questions. 101 question is going to be the one that you never thought of because that person thought of it. Okay. That's what I mean. They're not doing it on purpose. What I'm saying is that this is like you have a store, a physical store, and the customer comes in the door. You don't know what they're going to say. So why set the bot up to have automated responses? Which I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying you can do that. You must monitor. You must
And pick when you get the notification, you need to stop and go in there and
not so
type
busy.
We are not that busy.
Apple, you're Apple now. You're Nike. You're Coca-Cola, Pepsi Cola. And you got all like millions of employees. No, it's you and a few people. Your phone goes ding. Check it out.
And then some of the bigger companies do respond, right? They will have, they got somebody sitting there monitoring, like the night agent.
They do. They do. But this is what part of we were talking about with the trust strategy, because I brought that up because I was like, that was just so unnecessary because you are pushing away a potential customer because they asked a question. They don't even have to ask a question. Most people don't even say anything to your post. And I use the example of somebody coming in the door of your physical store. They don't have to come in your store. They could bypass your windows and your sandwich board and your thing and your, the restaurants have the people dressed up like a hot dog and I could ignore all of that because of XYZ, a million reasons, but they came in. So when they come in the door, you go, oh no, I don't want you, get on out. Or whatever it is where you push them, there's no attract. They're like, okay, I don't want to spend any money here because the way that you giving me the attitude. So that was the thing that I was saying about using that in the trust factor of you gotta have it set up right to where they even get to the part where they get into the trust factor with you, the trust strategy.
Mark said, on a side note, want to make me go postal? Program the bot to keep apologizing for its inability to answer my question.
Again, you don't want it to be in a loop like that. It needs to be
Mm.
set up to where if it doesn't fit the conditional whatevers of your bot, it routes to a real live human. Hey, you the business owner, or you're the supervisor overseeing the factory of them making the stuff, and you see there's something breaking down in the process. That's why you have line supervisors. That's why you have people who are managerial that keeping on top of that. Even though you got the robot making the car, there's still people in there because something may break down.
So we have to get into answering. We have to do the answering because the bots, and okay, so I think T-Mobile is the one, when you call in, let me get you over to a representative.
Uh-huh.
You know the bot answered the phone,
Right,
but they're shooting you over, after they, they do ask you, do you have your PIN number or whatever? Okay, I'll get you right over to somebody.
right.
I am not in that sea of
But see, that's
I
the
need.
they know there's basic information that they need from you, so they get the bot to do it instead of getting the human. The human comes in, the human person comes in when, like Mark said, there's a loop, there's a break, and something went wrong. So there is a route for press. If you don't know, press 0. Even though they don't say it, press 0 is built in and goes to a human. Or they'll tell you something, but 0, odds do 0 all the time and go straight to a human. Like, I don't got time to figure out 9 things that you're asking me on the phone. I'm in a rush, I'm in an emergency, I'm in a whatever mood. I don't want to do that. That's what I mean, that the human is going to do whatever I want to do. I'm going to disregard your instructions. Now what? Business owner. So when I brought that up because I was like, that was just so unnecessary. Because you have a person that's asking a question, don't you want to answer that question because they might put them into cross strategy?
They might buy something from you
Isn't
once
that
you
why
answer
you're
the question.
online? Isn't that why you're on social media? Not to go, oh, look at my little picture or the dance or the point or the whatever trend in the reels. I don't care about any of that stuff. I really don't. People, and I mean people, I mean business owners, forget you're not an influencer. Your end goal is capture the attraction, get their interest, and put them on the road to where they buy from you. And there's a lot of moving parts in there, and we talked about it. Now, I want to get into the trust factor, the trust strategy real quick from the previous show that we talked about. So I had a trust framework, sorry, TRUST. Is to build a brand people believe in, buy from and share without, I was saying about going viral, about doing all the crazy stuff, the trends, all this crazy stuff that you gotta, make a 7-second video and all of the tricks. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do any tricks. We want to meet people where they are. We want to get the right people to connect with our business, who want to connect, you know All right, so here it is. I said teach with purpose, deliver real outcome-based value, focus on helping them make a shift, not consuming content. R, reflect their reality, show your audience that you understand what they're really going through. This builds resonance. U, use your voice, don't sound like everyone else. Use your story, your energy, your language, especially in simplifying uh things that are complex, that you're trying to break down and get them to understand, because getting them, and I mean your target audience, who you're talking to understand is key to your messaging. They must understand in order to connect. S, show consistency. Trust grows with repetition. Constant presence, message and tone matter more than trends and whatever they're doing in the moment. And T, tell stories, not just facts. Facts inform, stories transform. Okay, so that was like the outline of it, and we just really kind of just talked about these few things. We didn't really go into detail, but I want to go into one of the details is R, reflect their reality. Show your audience that you understand what they're really going through because you need to connect. Okay, so this gets into everybody's not your customer, everybody's not your audience. You can't waste time talking to everyone. Why? Because it's a lesson in futility. You're not going to reach your followers. The algorithm, the AI, whatever is giving content the way they want to, not the way that you want to. So you got to do things to where you're kind of targeting the right audience. So that brings me to the generational effects. I call it the Gen effect and the title. So the generational effect. And we talked about generations a lot. We've talked about what Gen Z is doing, what Gen X is doing, what millennials, boomers, da 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 da. I brought you some data studies. We looked at some studies a few weeks last month. I think it was about I forgot which one it was, but we looked at why people are online and why generations are online and what are they doing and which platform they congregate on.
Dr. Tachi has a comment here. She says, when you talk to everyone, you are really talking to no one.
That's it. That's it. So we talk about generations, and this is really generational marketing where you are focusing on one generation. Because everybody's not your customer. Just like Dr. Todd said, when you talk to everyone, you're not talking to anybody. You think everybody's online. Let me get everybody. But they're not a fit for what your business has to offer or what you're doing as a content creator. Why would you want to connect with people who don't want anything to do with what you're talking about? It's a lesson in futility. It's frustrating because then if your message is generic, you talk to no one, just like Dr. Sadi said. You talk to no one. So there's crickets, it's empty, there's nobody there. You're not going to reach anybody. And guess what? All the platforms that you're so desperately trying to get on, they're going to be like, well, you keep saying things, but nothing happens. So we're not going to show you content because we got
Right.
other stuff to do. We got all of this content coming in. We got to filter it. Sorry. And the ones that are getting attention are going to get more attention. See? And there's a couple people, especially I always bring up Instagram because this is like the one platform where everybody's like, oh, da, da, da. There's Brock Johnson, I think his name is. The Instagram, I call him the Instagram guy. He puts out every time I go to Instagram, he's got something new popping up in my feed because I've interacted with him and he puts out lots of content different ways. And he's very like
Yep.
he's not overly I don't want to say annoying, but his content is very like boom, like he gets right into it, especially with Instagram. So he puts out a lot of content because you want to put out as much content as you want, as you need to, because you don't know what gets fed to the person that you're trying to reach. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you drive yourself crazy, like Dr. Tachi, when you're trying to talk to everybody and you reach nobody. Nothing happens. You give up. Another part of this trust strategy was show consistency. So you got to show consistency, but if your messaging is not on point and reaching a specific audience, a niche audience, if you want to use that word, if not the right audience, you're not talking to the right audience. Like Dr. Taji says, you're not going to talk to anybody because you're talking to everybody. Thinking more is, I'm going to put out all of this stuff because I'm going to reach everybody online. Kind of, but the algorithm, AI threw a wrench in that. AI threw a wrench in that because Meta and LinkedIn and Facebook and all of these platforms are like, we got too much content. And I told you guys there's going to be content everywhere, and there's content everywhere. You got to serve it some kind of way. AI has, not sorry, AI. Meta has their own algorithm for Facebook and one for Instagram. LinkedIn has theirs. Snapchat has theirs. TikTok has theirs. They all work differently. But their job is to manage the flow of content. So here's the deal. We got to look at ways of, I got to get my content to reach the right audience. Here's where generational marketing comes in, because I showed you all the data studies over the years. You gotta reach people who want what your business has to offer. You gotta reach people that want the content that you're giving them. Otherwise, they're not going to pay attention. Why? Because there's other things going on in the world, in their life. It depends. If they are of a certain age and they've got kids and they're married, they're different when they have younger kids versus older kids. If they got, a lot of kids are going to college now, empty nesters, they act differently. Those parents act differently from the ones that have a baby, a newborn, or a 1 year or 2 year. See how all of that, you just can't say parents with kids. You can't say that. There are different places in their life. Generational. So you have to know some of the things that's going on in their lives. Because this way, I don't have to, well, if my product is more geared toward baby boomers, I'm not going to focus on Gen Z. Gen Z don't like baby boomers. They did two different things. Why would I want to be in the world of Gen Z trying to get their attention when my service, my business fits the baby boomer or the Gen X category? And we talked about that. Where do those guys hang out? Where do those people hang out? Baby boomers and and some of the older Gen X.
Facebook.
And YouTube. I always bring up YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
YouTube is that a wonderful thing where there's different generations over there.
Yeah, and you may not know what that generation is. My mom is a silent generation. She's on YouTube.
Have those.
She's on YouTube. Oh, I know what to do with a gardening tool or something. She's on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. We've gone through that. The Sprout Social has a report. I'm trying to remember all the reports we talked about. All of them. Pew, Pew, I forgot Pew.
Pew Research.
Pew Research. There's another one I found. Edison Research talks about the pie. There's data studies everywhere. Just do a Google search for your generation. If you don't know where to start, I say Google because I Google, but a lot of people go to, where do they go to now? ChatGPT. They go to ChatGPT. They go to Gemini.
Somebody.
Okay, so I brought this up because I wanted to, let me get my notes, but that was like a little recap of the trust strategy, which I'm going to start talking more about, but I wanted to today talk about the generational effect and why it's important. And it had to tie back to the trust framework that I was saying, reflect the reality. You have to understand what they're really going through. And they, in the sense of your target audience, which fits into a persona of a person in an age bracket who has these types of behaviors. And each generation, there's going to be groups of people in the generation that behave differently. So you got to know that. Let me get back to my notes here because I had a bunch of so I had like a little framework. Well, not me, my assistant Jessica came up with this. So it's like the three-step generational marketing framework. Step 1, identify your core generation. You can't reach everyone. Find out which generation makes most of your buyers. And they're saying, look at your what's going on with your past customers' ages, or from interactions. You've asked them questions. You can ask questions online or polls, surveys. You can look at analytics. You can, and then here's another thing. It says if you serve multiple generations. Pick one to focus on first. So, for example, your clients are mostly 43 to 55. That's late Gen X, early millennials. Okay, so that's just one example of identifying your core generations. Step two, learn their behavioral drivers. And see, I never like to use all these like terms. Learn their behaviors, learn what they like. Each generation is different. They have different values, they have different buying triggers, they have different places where they like to hang out. They also have different trust signals. So we're going to stick with this Gen X and early millennials. Their trust, their values, connection, trust, real results. Buying triggers, proof that it works for people like them. Clear ROI, return on investment. Clear. They like to be on Facebook, some on Instagram, YouTube. YouTube is always there, and email. Don't forget about email. Don't forget about email. And the trust signals, case studies, personal stories, social proofs. Now, this trust signals, this is what convinces them that you are who you saying you are. You can provide what you're saying you're going to provide, that you're the real deal. You walk the walk, you talk the talk. You talk the talk, you walk the walk. Which way? I forgot which way it goes. You talk the talk and walk the walk. You're the real deal. So trust signals. And step three, match your marketing. So when you got all this information, you're going to adjust your content so it fits and it attracts them. You're going to be on the right channel. You're going to have the right messaging, and you're going to present the right product and service that they need in the way that they like to buy. So that's the three steps, and I love that Jessica put this together, because I was like, that fits. So we got some work to do. Identify our core generation. The example that she gave was like, okay, you can kind of straddle two of them. So the 43 to 55 was like late Gen X, early millennial. And let me give you the let's go back and do the age bracket. So baby boomers 1946 to 1964, Gen X 1965 to 1980, millennials 1981 to 1996, Gen Z 1997 2012, and don't forget about Gen Alpha after 2012. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So and again, Jessica gave me this, what drives them. So baby boomers, what drives them? Value, trust, and research. Gen X, practicality, personalization, and trust. Millennials, value, authenticity, social causes. Gen Z, creativity, personal connection, and diversity. And all of these generational age groups, they like email. Even though you hear people talk about email, especially Gen Z. Gen Z loves to talk about email, like, oh, we got an email. They use it. Don't listen to them. But email. If your generational group is baby boomers, yeah, email. Yeah, they might be on Facebook, but email.
Yep.
Checking it. And if you want to have a backup of, I said this on Facebook, and then to get the information, or to get a copy, or to get to remember, or what, word it the way you want to word it, do this, get on my email list, and I'll send it to your email so you have a copy. Ooh, I want that. So see what I mean about the generation marketing effect. You got to know your core group. You got to know their behavior, how they think, how they act, where they are today, especially what's happening now. You really got to know their mindset. Now, how do we know their mindset? Social media. They're on social media talking. How do I know? Because I'm there every day seeing the conversations. And the best place I'm seeing it now is Threads. Oh, I love Threads. I said when Threads first came out, I said it was going to be the place. And it is. Now, it's not the place for Gen Z, but I'm not looking at Gen Z. Where's Gen Z hanging out? TikTok, because it's
Mm-hmm.
around. It's still there. And then they have their little places where they, the little side, I call them the little side apps where they go. I'm trying to remember. Is it Lemonade? Be Real? There's a couple of little smaller apps that they hang on, and you can decide where you want to be on that if you've got time. But everybody is on Facebook. Even Gen Z may have an account because grandma talks to them there, but
Right.
grandma and grandpa are kind of moving to Snapchat because let's say there was a family reunion, they went to holiday and then why don't you call me? And, grandma says, why don't you call me? And the parent says or the kid says, well, I don't call. I'm on Snapchat. Grandma says, what's that? The kid shows on, hey, grandma, put it on your phone. Da 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 da. Grandma and grandchild are connecting on Snapchat. Even though grandma might not know what Snapchat, she's not knowing what she's doing, but she knows there's a pop-up on her phone in her grandkid and she wants to talk to the grandkid. Hello. That's how it works. That's how it works. So I never pay attention to the tech people or the journalists that write this story. Snapchat is dead. This or that. Snapchat's not dead. There's a core group that use it. It brings in the older generation because their grandkids are on, or great grandkids. Same thing with TikTok. I told you that TikTok was going to get older, and it did. Why? Because the young kids are on it. Grandma and grandpa want to talk to the young kid. There's a meeting, there's a family dinner, there's a Thanksgiving, there's a holiday, there's a whatever you want to call it, where the generations are together. Grandma, oh, why don't you call your grandma? Why? The kid goes, I don't call. I'm on TikTok. Grandma says, what's TikTok? Boom. It's all about the connection. It doesn't matter where it happens. But if you're waiting for your grandkid to call you on the phone, they're not going to do that because they don't make calls. They don't make calls.
Nope.
The grandparents want to talk to their grandkids. Don't care how they do it. They want the connection. Dr. Taji says, oh, can we show it on? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, there we go. She says it is not. There are so many super niche apps that if you're not privy to the knowledge, you think the app is dead. Right. She's saying about Snapchat. It's not dead. Those are people writing stories because they got to write a story because they got to get a click on the website. You know how many times I've heard blank is dead in the last, oh my goodness, almost 20 years, almost, we'll say 15, 18 years. I'm thinking back to Twitter, 2007. This is dead. That is dead. This is dead. It's never dead. It's not popular with a certain group. It's not dead. Snapchat is still around. There's been so many stories, Snapchat is dead, and people run, and when I say people, I mean people on social media that hear that this person wrote a story, they run with it. Oh, why are you on Snapchat? Snapchat is dead. Snapchat's a nothing. It's something to 13 to 24s. And if that's your generation, well, Snapchat. Figure out how to get on there to do what you need to do. Same thing with Instagram. So I just bring this up because it's we've got to make content that has a purpose, your messaging that has a purpose. And I bring up this story again, we talked about in the beginning about the bots, because you set up your post so it's a beautiful, you slaved over this post on Instagram and it's so perfect, and the content and the caption is so perfect, and ChatGPT helped you with that content, and it gave you a call to action, and they're just going to do it. No, they won't. They won't. Even though you set up all of the here are the rules, here are the steps. How come they didn't do it? Because people are gonna people. Humans are gonna do what humans do. They're going to come at you from left field and like, where did that come from? And how do you plan for all of those things? You can't. What you can do is make content and focus on your generational group. Learn them.
Dr. Tachi said even Raggedy Behind Clubhouse is not dead. There are a core group of users who like audio as an interface, so they use it.
She's right. Thank you. Thank you for that, Dr. Taji. Because somebody I follow on Instagram, which I had not interacted with their content, but something popped up and they were like, oh, I know what it was. I think the broadcast channel, and they put a message in the oh, I'm going to be on Clubhouse tomorrow. And I was like, Clubhouse?
And Mark said, yes, there's a difference between dead and dead to me.
It's because apt fatigue, people got things going on. I don't have time for that. What you got to focus on is what your generational group has time for. That's what you want. That's where you want to be. All of this generic provide value, be consistent. I gotta go past all that because that's what everybody's saying because ChatGPT spit that out. I said, oh, that's ChatGPT. You gotta go deeper and you gotta do more than say provide value. That's why I do these when I come up here and I say generational marketing, or I say the trust framework, or these are things that I put an idea in, and my assistant Jessica, we work on this thing. I was like, oh, I like that. I like that. We're going deeper. We're going deeper than just provide value because that doesn't work. Because there's so many things happening. Plus, social media changes, marketing strategy changes, because we are in a different time than we were, say, before November 2024. Everything's different. And we're in a different time from before the pandemic. Marketing works the same in its the way that it works, but the things are different.
Yeah.
That's why I always tell you, when I do a Google search, because I still Google, I do all of the stuff, but I still Google because that's my favorite. And I see some information. I'm like, ooh, let me read that. And then I see the date because I check the date. This is me. I check the date and it says 2018 to 2006. And I can't use that. I need something that actually is coming after November 2024. Actually, after January 2025, actually after March. We talked about in March this year, we talked about oh man, what was that report? I can't remember. We talked about a report and I said I wanted to look at consumer confidence report in March. I need to check on it today. Why? Take a look at the news. That's what I'm gonna say. And everybody knows because how people are feeling is driving the sales, whether they want to connect with your business, whether they want to buy what you have to offer. Do they have the disposable income to do so? If they do,
And
great. If they don't,
they may have, like you just said, they may have the disposable income, but am I going to spend it on that? Or am I going to spend it on that?
yes.
Or am I just going to keep it in my pocket?
Yes. Why? Because of economic uncertainty. Yes, I may have the money. Yes, let's say I'm a rich person. I'm making $250,000 a year or above or whatever. Just because I have the disposable income doesn't mean I'm going to spend it. I'm thinking down the road. My child may be 5, but I'm trying to think 8. In 10 years, I got to think about college. What's going to happen to my money between now and 10 years? I may not have it. Stock market, it may go down. Wherever their money is, they're going to want to hold on to it. Okay? That's just one of the things. That's just one. That's why I say it's so important to look at what's going on with the economy, how people are feeling. And the news is a great, when I watch it, because I don't watch political stuff, but business news, I will watch that all the time because they're staying on top of the consumer. How are they feeling? Do they feel like buying? Are they going on vacation? We talked about that before. Vegas is empty. Nobody's going there. Not even Americans may be going, but the other Canada, Europe, they're not. Those are the drivers that were coming over, especially in New York. Also, they're not coming. Not coming. So those are things you need to pay attention to. But this sounds like a lot of work. Oh, I don't have time. Yes, you do. Just like I was saying about the bot, you have time to answer each person. If you don't want to, like Mark was saying, you don't want all of that. You don't want to drive someone away when they have a kernel of interest in your business. Just a teeny tiny, I have a question. And you're driving them away with your bot behavior because you saw, I'm just throwing Brock out there. I'm not saying him. You see somebody like Brock who has all of these followers and he's doing great with his business because his mom is doing even better. As a short Shane Johnson, I think his mom. You go, oh, well, I got to do what they're doing. Or put the influencer in that you follow. Oh, this person has 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I got to do what they're doing. They got this, they've got this, $1,000 mic and they've got this. Not saying that you can't have that, but I'm like, start where you are. Stay on your level and grow. Those people started here and they grew. They grew by doing things consistently, by knowing their messaging, by knowing who they were talking to, by constantly doing it, one foot in front of the other, running the marathon. And now they are where they are. But you're trying to get to where they are by using a bot, by doing this and that, and you're ignoring the one customer that's asking a question because you got some bot blocking it. And guess what that person is going to do? They're knocking on the door with their question to your business, and you got a bot answering, or you got whatever automated system, and you're ignoring them. They're just going to leave and go next door to your competitor who's talking to them face to face in real time.
Even if that competitor's cookies don't taste as good as yours, they are going over there because they can talk to the person handing out the sample of the cookies or something. And from you, they like,
yep. In a world of AI, love AI, in a world of automation, it has its place. If you're not talking to human, they are going to talk to the business that is talking to them human to human, no matter what. Even their prices, your price may be lower than the competitors, but if you do this kind of behavior that I'm talking about, I don't care. I will pay more to talk to a person. They will. They will. That's just how it goes.
yep.
That's
And you may not like they'll find something to like in the store of the person they can talk to.
right.
They'll find something.
Yes.
Even they came to you because they wanted what you had, but they couldn't talk to you. So now they're going to go find somebody they can talk to and will not get the thing they really wanted because they couldn't talk to a human.
Exactly. I'm going to put this link in. It's to let me make sure I got it. It's brandwatch.com. They had a report. They have on their website, generational trends report, and it goes through. And here's the title. I'm just going to read it. Know why Gen Z are obsessed with shoes, or that boomers love gifting. Do you know why millennials are tired of road trips, and why Gen Z are all about self-improvement? We do. So they have, of course, Brandwatch is trying to sell their, what I'm not sure what tool they have, but this is a good report. And they have a section where they have it by Gen Z, millennials, Gen X, baby boomers. And they've analyzed mentions between January 1st, 2024 and March 31st, 2025. They analyzed data from X and Reddit. That's another place. If you have not gone to Reddit, please go to Reddit. There is a lot of conversations going on, and you can get into the mind of your generational group. Now, Reddit is I'm just going to say it could be a place where stupid things are going on, crazy people. It's not as bad as X, but you will, if you go into Reddit and you go in and you look at a certain topic, you might get lost. As in, oh, there's a group that talks about the Gilded Age. I got into that, like the TV show The Gilded Age on HBO, which just had their season finale. There's a group there, and they are talking about different things. And then when I go in there, I get sucked into all the posts. And then when I get out of it and I go back to Reddit goes, oh, here's a fresh post from that. I'm like, I'm not here for that, Reddit. Don't distract me. So you may find that going on. Oh, I forgot. I can't put a okay, I'll go over to Facebook and
You can you should be able to put a comment in there.
yeah, it says it's not supported.
That's really interesting. Put it in a private and I can put it in there maybe.
I'll give it to you because I saw it there before, but now I don't see it. I don't know.
Okay, I got to figure out why there's sometimes you can.
Yeah,
and sometimes you can't.
Yeah, sometimes I can, and I was like, oh, I'll just go to okay, let's put it in. There we go. It's kind of long. I'm not sure. You see that? I don't know why
I
it's
see
so
it.
long. Could be because I did a search and it, pulled in that.
And it's bringing it from wherever the search was.
Yeah. Okay, so we got a link. It's brandwatch.com. And they also had a webinar on generational marketing, which I signed up for, and I didn't have time to watch. I will go back and watch the replay. But it's a great breakout of, say, Gen Z. For example, Gen Z won't compromise on food with traveling. They're fashion obsessed, especially with shoes. I'm curious about that. What's going on with shoes in Gen Z? Let's see. What else? Millennials are big on calling out fast fashion.
Mm-hmm.
They're angry about that. Millennials are concerned about energy drink addiction. Millennials are tired of road trips. Gen X are embracing lasting lifestyle changes. What else is there? Gen X takes urban getaways seriously. These are the headers. Gen X are selective with their online shopping. That's oh, I'm curious about that online shopping. What's going on with them? They're picky. What's going on? So, baby boomers love gifting. Baby boomers are prioritizing romance when on vacation. That's curious. And they have links to X. They have links to Reddit posts. So be careful when you click on the Reddit links because you'll get, if you're not a Reddit fan, you might get into that and then see something else you like because it is interest based, kind of like my favorite Google Plus.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I have to turn off the notifications from Reddit. I'm like, I didn't ask you for an opinion this morning.
But if you join the right Reddits, because I think I'm in one for small business owners. I think I know I'm in one for digital or some kind of marketing, a bunch of marketings. And then when I look at my phone, the notifications pop up with the post, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Let me go in there. And then I'm like, okay, I'm lost in the sauce. Going, I got to get out. So remember your rule: 15 minutes, get out of it. Or aren't there little? I think everybody has a little tool on their phone or there's app that will stop you from being in something. You can set a timer, or there's different ways to manage it. So just be careful, Reddit. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of groups and subreddits, and they go deep into topics. And it could be your favorite celebrity, your favorite musician, your favorite TV show, art, whatever it is, it's there. And what I love about it is there are conversations going on. Now, there's some stupid responses. Beavis and I call it Beavis and Butthead, South Park, kind of. And I just
come on.
You guys go away. So it depends on the subreddit how the behavior is the posts are tolerated. So if you find a good one, a lot of good health and wellness and mental wellness, mental health. A lot of good subreddits on there. So just be warned, if you go to Reddit and you've never been there before, it's a lot. It's a lot, and you have to swim through.
You're like, "Woo, what is this?" And
It's
so
a lot.
that's why you need to know exactly what you're going in for. It's like
Yeah,
going to Walmart. Know
yeah.
what you're going in for before you get in there.
Costco.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like Costco. It's like, woo.
Reddit is Costco. It's like, oh my.
Where do I start? You just walk in and you kind of
Basically, remember, it's think of Reddit as a research tool for your generation, like and topical, like real estate, golf, sports, whatever, and just do a search on that, and you'll see, and just look through some of the results, and you'll find your way. You'll find your way. But Reddit's a good tool for that. So, I started talking about this trust framework, this trust strategy, because I see it as the way to get to how do we get around the followers. You, they've gotten they've done away with that. Yes, you have followers. Yes, you can have followers, but that's not the thing that's going to drive your content. Is going to be AI. And AI is all about matching and pattern recognition. Remember, it is code, it is machinery, it's not a person. It's been programmed to do X, Y, Z, and it does it. Doesn't care how many times you scream at adversary about give us chronological. You can track us on the map, but you can't show my post to every. I've seen that a lot because Instagram just turned on this map feature that's like the Snapchat map where you can see your friends. People are crying about that. Just turn it off or whatever. But they're tying that to you can do this, but you can't show my post to everybody that follows me because that's not a thing. Okay.
it is amazing to me that they do all this crying and they're not paying one dime.
People
This ain't your stuff.
people go in and say the algorithm does this, AI does this, the CEO of Instagram says blah blah blah, and they still come in. I could go to his last post and they're crying about this map. I understand. Turn it off. You can turn it off. Or I think it's not turned on by default. I gotta do some digging into it because I didn't really look at it. But the responses was you can give us this stupid map, you can give us this stupid thing, but you can't show chronological and you can't show all my posts and my followers. That's not how any of this works. The commercial with the lady, that's not how this works.
That's not how that works.
Hasn't worked in like 3-4 years, people. But okay, you want to do the old man get off my lawn? Enjoy. And that's what I have for you today. But one thing I'm gonna say, we will talk more about the trust strategy because there's the TRUST. So I was talking about the R today. So we'll go down.
So we're going to be continuing.
Yeah.
And that is why you need to come back every Tuesday. We get juicy tidbits of information that can help you understand what is going on in the world of digital marketing and social media. And I've heard somewhere that it is definitely it's changing from social media to interest media. It is, it's shifting. We've come to another shift in the road.
Yeah, we come to a shift, but people are still stuck on I got followers, I got subscribers, and same thing with YouTube. YouTube's like you have 100 million subscribers, but we're gonna show this video that you made to the people that interact with it and like it. And
He said, not a dime. You ain't paying a dime and asking for stuff.
see, here's the thing we're gonna explore. Well, why have followers and subscribers? That's a question I have. They might take that away. I don't know. I don't know what Meta's doing. I don't know what YouTube is thinking in their head. That could be a thing. So We got to be ready for it, is my point. We got to be ready for it. So we're going
Yep.
to get ready here.
Yeah. So we just want to say thank you for tuning in once again to Marketing Talks with Terry Johnson Online. You can find us here every Tuesday, every day for Biz Chicks. There's something going on. Tomorrow, Coach Karen will be sitting in, and then Robin with Healthy Habits. Then we're here on Friday talking tech and more social media and media news with Dr. Tachi. And we just want to invite you to become a part of the Biz Chicks community. You can do that by simply texting Biz to 33777, or you can also go to bizchicks.net. Now you can find Terry Johnson online at terryjohnsononline.info. Make sure that you get connected with her so that you can get the information that you need to make proper decisions in your digital business life. This is a thing. Digital business is a thing. We are literally in the digital business world. We are not so much.
And guess what? We're at the beginning, guys. This is like the beginning with all the AI stuff. You should be excited. It's a new world. Like Dr. Like Fran said, it's shifted. We've shifted, and you should be happy about it because it's going to give you more opportunity to grow your business.
Right, and you're at the beginning where you're learning it, and man, we got so much to share with you. So make sure you become a part of the Bizchicks community. Text Biz to 33777. We do not spam, or go to bizchicks.net. So thank you so much. And we're going to let Brittany take us out of here. Enjoy the rest of your week, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in today. We trust you've learned something to help you build a more profitable business and take the hassle out of your hustle. See you next time.